everyone, I'm Savannah and this is Uniscent. We are all about fragrances. We do fragrance reviews, hauls, comparisons, collections, niche, designer, and Middle Eastern fragrances. Today we'll be taking a look at another dupe fragrance from Fragrance World. So this fragrance was a total blind buy for me and I wasn't sure if I would like it, so I'm quite excited to share my thoughts and opinions with you guys. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing and turn post notifications on. Let's jump in. So the fragrance that we are going to be looking at, the dupe fragrance that we're going to be looking at from Fragrance World is Intro Ivory Musk. So this is the packaging. Not a fancy box or anything like that, but I do like the packaging. I like the white and I do like the design. So this is the bottle. As I'm sure you can see, this fragrance is duping a Initio fragrance, and it is obviously called Intro Ivory Musk, so I'm sure you've guessed it is duping Musk Therapy from Initio. So I really like the packaging of this fragrance. I do find the plaque a little bit plastic, but I do like the plaque at the top. I think that looks really elegant and classy. But I do like the white. I just find that it does get dirty quite easily. So fingerprint-wise, it gets quite dirty quite easily. So if we take a look at the notes, comparing Ivory Musk and Musk Therapy from Initio, let's take a look at the notes and compare them. So in Ivory Musk, in the top we have bergamot and mandarin. In the mid we have blackcurrant, musk, and magnolia. And in the base we have sandalwood and musk. Where in Initio Musk Therapy, the fragrance notes are basically the same. It's just missing one note. So in Musk Therapy, the notes are white musk, musk, blackcurrant, bergamot, mandarin orange, magnolia, white sandalwood, and hedion. I don't know if it's hedion or hedion. I'm going to say hedion. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. So the notes are very, very similar. The only different note is the hedion. So this fragrance note is a fresh floral similar to jasmine, but with some greenness. So I find this fragrance a musky, sweet citrus scent. It's a really nice scent. I have let this bottle macerate for quite a while. I got this fragrance quite a while ago. And when I first got it, it was very weak, poor longevity, poor projection. So I let it sit in my collection for quite a while. And since then, it has gotten a lot better. And it lasts a lot longer. And the notes are a lot more prominent in it. So I find this fragrance completely unisex. I don't think it leans masculine or feminine. There's a lot of citrus off the top, but the citrus does fade quite a bit. It doesn't go away completely, but it does fade quite a bit as it dries down. There's definitely a fruity aspect that's obviously coming from the blackcurrant and the mandarin orange. It's just a nice little bit of fruitiness that comes through. It fades quite quickly, but it is a little bit of fruitiness that comes through. So initially there's a slight sweetness. It does get sweeter as it dries down. I found that it gets a lot sweeter as it dries down and it becomes really, really nice and sweet. Not overpoweringly sweet and not sickly sweet, but it does have a really nice sweetness. It is quite fresh as well at the same time. I know that doesn't quite make sense that it's sweet and fresh, but there is quite a bit of freshness to it. And then there's quite a heavy powderiness as well. So to my nose, I pick up a vanilla, not a vanilla note, but a vanilla aspect to this fragrance. It's just a little bit of extra sweetness that's coming through, which I will explain a little bit more when we get to Musk Therapy. This fragrance is also a very creamy fragrance. I find it extremely creamy, a little bit sweet, very smooth. It's just really well-rounded and well-balanced. I find it a year-round scent. It's super inoffensive. I find it quite versatile as well. But I would say that it's not really for teenagers. I would say that it's for any age above teenagers. So I definitely think this fragrance is signature scent worthy. I do think it's mass pleasing, but there is an aspect which may or may not turn people off of it, which is obviously that muskiness. It is not an animalic muskiness though. I find it more of a fresh muskiness. So it's definitely a fresh musk, not an animalic musk. So don't be afraid of that when I'm explaining that it's quite musky. For me, it's not too bold of a scent. As I said, it's very smooth, very well-rounded. I also find this fragrance quite sexy. It's sexy in a unique kind of way. It's not the typical type of sexy being dark and mysterious and that kind of thing. It's just got a smooth, elegant, little bit of subtle sexiness to it. So that's the way I feel about the fragrance when it comes to being sexy. It is a unique sexiness. It's not a typical type of sexy fragrance. So the performance on this fragrance is pretty moderate. When I initially got it, as I said, the performance was very poor. But I now get 6 to 7 hours on it with moderate to strong projection. If I overspray, I get pretty strong projection. So I'm really happy with the performance on this fragrance now. I wasn't initially, but I'm very happy now. So I definitely would recommend this fragrance. I think it's a really, really well done fragrance. Even besides being a dupe fragrance, I think that it's a really good standalone fragrance in any case, if it wasn't duping anything. I really enjoy the scent and I do recommend it. And at the price point, it is definitely worth it. So if we look at Musk Therapy now, so for me, this is a sweet, musky, creamy, and slightly citrusy scent. So the citrus is quite a bit less than in Ivory Musk, but there is a citrus in the top. It dies down fairly quickly and you don't really pick it up later on in the fragrance, but initially you do pick it up. The magnolia in it is also, I find, a little bit watery, but also powdery at the same time. It's a weird combination because I pick up both. I kind of see it as quite watery, but then there's a powderiness that comes through with it as well. So that's what I'm getting from the magnolia. There is a fruitiness that comes through, which is obviously through the blackcurrant and the mandarin orange. It does fade relatively quickly though, but there is that fruitiness in the opening. So the sandalwood definitely brings through a lot of creaminess. Once again, it's quite a creamy scent, the same as Ivory Musk. It's very, very creamy and smooth. For me, it's a very cozy, enveloping kind of scent. It's a really well-rounded, well-balanced scent as well. It feels like quite a high-end scent, which obviously it is. But you can feel it's high-end and you can feel that you can smell that the quality of the ingredients is really good. It is definitely office appropriate and inoffensive, the same as Ivory Musk. So as you can see, there's quite a few similarities coming through. So once again, I do think it's mass pleasing, but obviously there's that musky aspect which may or may not be a turn off to some people. So for me, once again, this is a sweet musk, but it is a clean musk at the same time. So it's like a fresh, clean musk that comes through. So when I think about this fragrance, I picture a soft, fluffy blanket that's just been washed in a baby powder scented softener. So it doesn't smell like baby powder. So that's not what I'm trying to get across. It doesn't smell like baby powder, but it has that sweet powderiness, that subtle sweet powderiness that comes through in the scent. So if you're getting what I'm saying, that's what I mean. It doesn't smell like baby powder, but it has a sweet powderiness to it. So I find this fragrance, again, quite versatile. It can be worn in most situations. And I do think that it is signature scent worthy. I can picture someone being recognized by this type of scent, that this is what they wear on a daily basis. I can definitely see someone having it as a signature scent. So initially I didn't like this scent. So when I first got this, the intro Ivory Musk, I was quite nervous about it because I wasn't a massive fan of Musk Therapy, but I saw the price point and I was like, okay, well, let's try it out and let's see if it grows on me. So I did, and now I've smelled Musk Therapy and worn Musk Therapy a few times. And I actually really love it now. So I'm very happy with Ivory Musk as an alternative in terms of a full bottle. In my opinion, I think that this fragrance is quite a unique scent. Again, it's sexy, but in a unique way. Same kind of thought pattern as I had for Ivory Musk. So the performance of this fragrance is kind of what lets me down. I get average performance. So I get about 4 to 5 hours in longevity, and I get soft to moderate projection depending on if you overspray or not. But do I really want to overspray such a high-priced kind of scent? I don't really want to, because obviously that's spending quite a bit of bucks, spraying 10 million sprays in one go. So that's where I kind of have a little bit of a problem with this fragrance, is just in terms of the performance of it. So is Ivory Musk a good dupe? Yes, it is, but I wouldn't say that it is identical. It is not a one-to-one. I would say that it's about 80 to 85% similar. So in the air, it's going to smell quite similar, but there are a few differences, especially in the opening. There is a lot more citrus in Ivory Musk than in Musk Therapy. Ivory Musk is also a little bit more fruity and a little bit fresher in general. They both have a very nice sweetness, though. They have the sweetness that sticks around throughout the fragrance, the journey of the fragrance. So that sweetness is a very similar sweetness in both of them. I do find Ivory Musk slightly sweeter in terms of having that vanillic aspect that I pick up, but I don't know if others pick up that kind of vibe. So for me, I get a little bit of a sweeter note in Ivory Musk. So I do find Ivory Musk stronger, and it does last longer. I find the performance quite a bit better in Ivory Musk than in Musk Therapy. That is just on my skin. It may just be on my skin. I don't know about other people, but on my skin, Musk Therapy just doesn't last as long as I want it to, and it's not as strong as I want it to be. So I find Ivory Musk slightly more sexy than Musk Therapy. I think the reason for that is because I get that vanilla type of vibe in Ivory Musk that I don't quite get in Musk Therapy. It's not a major difference, but it's just that slight bit more sweetness that I'm preferring in Ivory Musk than in Musk Therapy. So overall, if Musk Therapy is in your budget, then 100% go for it. If that is the type of scent that you are looking for and it's in your budget, then definitely go for the original. But if it's not within your budget, I think that Ivory Musk is a really good alternative. I don't think it's 100% dupe, as I said before. But it's in a very similar kind of vibe as Musk Therapy. So for me, I do think that it's a really good alternative. It's not 100%, it's not a one-to-one, but it's definitely close enough that you're going to get the same type of feeling out of it. And I'm just really nitpicking at the fragrances. So I'm really nitpicking at the differences between them. In the air, it's a very small difference, but if you really know the fragrance and you know the in-depth type of scent that it is, you're going to pick up those differences. But in the air, I can tell you now, not many people are going to know. It's just there are those slight differences. The main difference is the citrus in the opening. So I would say the opening is the biggest difference between the two. I think the opening is where they kind of separate a little bit and then they come back together in the dry down, and they are more similar in the dry down. But personally, I prefer Ivory Musk just because it comes off a little bit sweeter and a little bit sexier. So that's the end of this comparison review. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you found this helpful, please click that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And please let me know your thoughts on this fragrance. Do you think that Ivory Musk is a good dupe of Musk Therapy? I'd really like to hear from you guys and get your thoughts and opinions on it. I'll see you next time. Bye!